Africa Now on your digital first Pan-African network, TOS TV. I am Adesuwa Osui. Two men were shot dead in Libreville during curfew violation and protest against coronavirus restriction, police in Gabon said on Friday. The two were shot late on Thursday as the country was hit by violent demonstration in poor neighborhoods against the stepped-up curfew and a ban on leaving or entering the capital. National Police Chief Sergei Hevingoma said in a firm statement that protesters had put up barricades and fought police with Molotov cocktails, rocks and iron bars. In circumstances that have not yet been established, two curfew violators in Libreville were hit by gunfire and died from their wounds, he said, adding that an investigation was launched. So far, there has been no reaction from the government. President Ali Bongo convened a meeting with his Council of Ministers on Friday, and a reaction is expected from the government, he added. Gabon, with a population under 2 million, has reported around 13,000 cases of the virus, including 75 deaths. Ousted leaders of the former ruling party in Ethiopia's northern Tigray region, who have been on the run for more than 3 months, have issued conditions for peace talks. The statement was broadcast by TMH, a media house which is affiliated to the TPLF party. The TPLF's list of demands include the withdrawal of Eritrean troops from Tigray, the withdrawal of other invading forces, an independent inquiry in ethnic cleansing and the destruction caused by the conflict, access to the region for humanitarian aid to reach 4.5 million people who urgently need help, the unconditional release of political prisoners and the disbandment of Tigray's interim administration set up after the conflict. Any peace talks would have to be led by an independent international body, it added. The United States says it has decided to delink its suspension of millions of dollars of aid to Ethiopia from the country's dispute with Egypt over a massive hydroelectric dam project. But the State Department early Friday said that does not mean all the roughly $272 million in security and development assistance will immediately start to flow, and it depends on more recent developments and apparent reference to the deadly conflict in Ethiopia's Tigray region. The State Department said humanitarian assistance remained exempt from the aid suspension. It said it has informed Ethiopia's government. Ethiopia is now under pressure from the U.S. and others, including the European Union and United Nations, over the deadly fighting in its northern Tigray region, where some 6 million people have been largely cut off from the world since fighting began in November between Ethiopian and allied forces and Tigray ones. This is your digital first Pan-African network, TOS TV network. You're watching Africa Now. More stories from the African continent after the break. Thanks for staying tuned. United Nations human rights experts say staggering levels of violence continue in South Sudan. In their latest report to the UN Human Rights Council, the experts say the last few months have seen an intensification of violence, with hundreds of civilians killed or displaced. Villages have been burnt, women and girls abducted and raped, boys forcibly recruited as child soldiers. The United Nations experts say many fighters have increasingly sophisticated weapons, suggesting the involvement of the state or even of external forces. Some 75% of the country is now affected by the violence. A dozen pro-democracy activists have been released from prison in Algeria, and more are expected to be freed under pardons issued by President Abdelmadjid Tebboune. He announced them on Thursday, just days ahead of the second anniversary of the start of the demonstration that forced the resignation of his predecessor, Abdelaziz Bouteflika. Many of the activists, were imprisoned for posting anti-government comments on social media. Analysts have described the presidential pardon as a gesture of appeasement following signs that the protest movement is gathering momentum again. A Chadian court has sentenced an activist to 3 years in jail for writing that the country's president was seriously ill and being treated in France. The head of the Chadian Organization of Human Rights, Baradini Bede Tagui was arrested in January 2020 after publishing the Facebook post about President Idris Deby. The criminal court in the capital, N'Djamena, found him guilty of attacking the constitutional order. Deby's political opponent, Saleh Kebzabo, denounced the sentencing as an unjust and anachronistic political sanction and called for his release. During his 30 years in power, Mr. Deby has been accused of authoritarianism and nepotism, as well as failing to address the poverty that affects many of Chad's 13 million people. This is your digital first Pan-African network, TOS TV. You're still watching Africa Now. Ahead is business and sports. Welcome back. It's still Africa Now on TOS TV, your digital first Pan-African network. In business, China is the largest importer of goods into Kenya. In the past year, the value of imports from China fell by 15 billion Kenya shillings to 361.5 billion Kenya shillings, according to provisional data released by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. The total value of imports into Kenya in 2020 was 8.8% lower than the value of imports in 2019. Imports into the country amounted to 1.64 Kenya shillings at the end of December 2020 compared to 1.8 trillion Kenya shillings the year before. Kenya mainly imported goods and services from United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Japan, India, the US, South Africa, Germany, Netherlands, France, and of course China. Value of Kenya exports rose to 641.2 billion Kenya shillings in 2020, a 7% increase as per provisional data released by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. The main destination for Kenya exports were United Kingdom, the US, Germany, France, Netherlands, Pakistan, United Arab Emirates, Egypt, Uganda, Tanzania, and Rwanda. In South Africa, if current market trend persists until the end of February, petrol price is likely to rise by around 50 to 55 cents a litre, while diesel could go up to about 45 cents a litre. On the business front, data out of this week shows that consumers could face more general price increases in the coming months. Figures released by Statistics South Africa indicate that consumer price inflation has increased to 3.2% in January from 3.1% in December 2020. Consumers are also in for a hefty rise in electricity price after the National Energy Regulator of South Africa, NERSA, agreed to Eskom's request for tariff increase for over 15% for the 2021 and 2022 financial year. Despite these increases, inflation is expected to remain within the Reserve Bank's 3 to 6% target range. Good news is that the local currency continues to defy predictions as it strengthens to below 15 rand against US dollar. And in sport, at the end of 90 minutes, nothing could separate the top two sides in Group C as Ghana and Morocco played out to a goalless draw in their second group match at the Total Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations in Nouadhibou on Friday. In a lively and entertaining match, both sides had chances to score but couldn't find the net. The result says both teams moved to 4 points, but Ghana remains top of the group on goal difference, having beaten Tanzania 4-0 in their opening encounter, while Morocco were 1-0 winners over Gambia. Ghana will next face Gambia while Morocco tackle Tanzania, with the matches set to decide the final ranking of the group. That is Africa Now on your digital first Pan-African news network, TOS TV. For more updates, do visit our website at www.tostvnetwork.com. Do also follow and like TOS TV Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And remember to subscribe on YouTube. Do stay with us and enjoy more programs on TOS TV Network. I am Adesua Osui. Thank you for watching.